Before this video begins, take 1 second and subscribe to the channel. What you are about to hear is not theory, not rumor, and not internet fantasy. It is the true hidden story of a small, forgotten copper coin that once passed through dirty hands, dusty pockets, and war-torn streets. A coin that today has the power to change a family's future forever. Most people would throw it away. Some would spend it without a second thought. Only a few understand what it really represents. And by the end of this video, you may never look at old pennies the same way again. Picture Southern Africa in the late 1800s. No smartphones. No banks on every corner. No global markets flashing prices on screens. This was a land of raw power, hard men, and harder choices. Gold had been discovered. Empires were expanding. And control over land meant control over wealth. In the middle of this storm stood the South African Republic, a fiercely independent Boer state fighting to survive between British ambition and internal struggle. Every object from that era tells a story, but few speak as loudly as the coins minted during those tense years. In 1894, the South African Republic struck a humble 1-penny coin. On the surface, it looked ordinary. Small, copper, practical, something you would use to buy bread, feed a horse, or pay a debt. But history rarely hides inside grand monuments. More often, it hides inside the things people ignore. This penny was not just money. It was a declaration, a statement of sovereignty, a quiet act of resistance. The design itself reflected a nation trying to define itself. The lettering was firm, deliberate, almost defiant. It did not beg for recognition. It demanded it. At a time when British influence was tightening its grip across Southern Africa, issuing your own currency was an act of courage. Every penny that changed hands said, "We are still here. We still decide." Now imagine who used this coin. Farmers waking before sunrise. Soldiers marching toward uncertainty. Traders counting change by candlelight. This penny passed through thousands of lives, each one leaving invisible marks. Sweat, dirt, time. That where you see today is not damage. It is evidence. Proof that the coin lived through an era that reshaped the world. Most people don't realize how close this coin came to disappearing forever. War was coming. Tensions were rising. Within just a few years, the Anglo-Boer War would explode, devastating towns and families. Coins were melted, lost, buried, or taken as spoils. Survival was more important than savings. That is why authentic examples from this period are far rarer than people think. Here is where the story turns serious. Not all 1894 pennies are equal. Some were struck with subtle variations. Slight differences in lettering, spacing, metal quality, and die alignment. Details so small that only experienced collectors even know to look for them. To an untrained eye, they look identical. To the right buyer, they are worlds apart. This is why so many people unknowingly give these coins away. They clean them. They scratch them. They dismiss them as worthless because it's just a penny. That single mistake has cost families fortunes. In the collector world, originality is everything. The coin that looks old, dark, and untouched is often worth far more than one that shines. Men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s understand this instinctively. You've lived long enough to know that value is not always loud. The most powerful things often sit quietly, waiting for someone patient enough to recognize them. This coin is exactly that. Collectors don't just buy metal. They buy stories. They buy moments frozen in time. The 1894 South African Republic penny represents independence under threat, a people resisting erasure, and a world on the edge of modern history. That emotional weight is what drives serious money into the market. Private collectors compete fiercely for examples tied to pre-war Republic coinage. Museums want them. Investors want them. And once a truly rare specimen enters a locked collection, it may never resurface again. That shrinking supply is not accidental. It is the reason prices don't behave logically. They explode. Another thing most people never consider is survival rate. Tens of thousands may have been minted, but how many survived war, melting, corrosion, and human neglect? Experts estimate only a tiny fraction remain today, and far fewer in original condition. When supply collapses and demand stays strong, the result is inevitable. There are documented cases where families discovered one of these coins in old boxes, drawers, or inherited belongings. At first, they laughed. Then they checked again. Then everything changed. What started as curiosity turned into disbelief. And disbelief turned into silence. Because some truths are too heavy to process all at once. This is not a get-rich-quick fantasy. This is history meeting scarcity meeting desire. And when those three align, money follows in ways that shock even experienced collectors. If you are watching this and thinking, I might have something like this, that instinct matters. Many life-changing discoveries begin with that exact thought. The difference between those who benefit and those who don't is simple: patience. Rushing destroys value. Ignoring details destroys opportunity. This penny is not valuable because it is old. It is valuable because of when it was made, who made it, why it was made, and how few truly important examples remain. Time has filtered out the ordinary ones. What's left carries weight. And here is the part that makes people uncomfortable. The market does not care about face value. It does not care that it says 1 penny. It cares about narrative, condition, and rarity. Those three factors rewrite the rules completely. As you listen to this, remember something important. Somewhere right now, a man is unknowingly carrying a small piece of history in a drawer, a tin box, or a forgotten envelope. He has no idea what it represents, no idea what doors it could open. That is how close most people are to missing out. In the final part of this story, I will reveal why this specific coin stunned the collector world, how elite buyers reacted, and the astonishing value attached to it today. When you hear that number, it will force you to rethink every old coin you've ever ignored. You want me to continue with the final part and dramatic value reveal?